Welcome to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. And today we have a special guest, myself. So a couple of weeks back, I asked on Instagram, I asked on YouTube, and I asked, just friends of mine, for topics like just a mailbag session of questions. And I got some really, really good responses. And, I'm deciding I'm gonna take the time and I'm gonna do this maybe like every month or every 6 weeks, maybe every 2 months, who knows? But these questions that come in, I'm gonna sit up there and I'm gonna respond to them, and I'm gonna do it probably with a guest. Sometime I may do it by myself, but this time I'm gonna decide I'm gonna do it by myself because these questions were really good, and honestly, I want to do it by myself. Like, I don't want to take the time to find nobody else that, how you gonna really open up and answer this, and they got to think too much about it, like, because these are good. The first one I want to start with is, this is a really good question. What is one trait or habit of yours you do not want your kids to pick up? And it's funny. It's funny because I don't believe my trait will be picked up. And it's something that I feared for my daughter before I ever had a daughter. And that is long time ago, past life, you know what I mean? I'm grown, much more mature. I didn't even want to put, dates and times or nothing like that on it because, none of that's important. Just a long time ago, I lived a promiscuous lifestyle. Let's just say that. A promiscuous lifestyle. That is something that I was like, man, watch me end up with a girl. And oh my God, I'll be scared to death if she ended up like I was. But then I was also thinking to myself, like, I don't have those fears because I'm gonna be in her life. Most of them girls, they ain't have daddies, so like it's a little different. They didn't have daddies, they called me daddy. It's a big difference between them and me, and I'm gonna raise my daughters. But not even from my daughter perspective. Like, as I've gotten older, I wouldn't want my son to have that either. Like, I know at one point when I was younger, thinking about having kids and thinking about what it'd be like raising my son and stuff, be like, yeah, I'm gonna show him how to get all the girls, and like, we're gonna sit back and we're gonna have these conversations about knocking things down. And it's like, now that I'm older, I think about it, and I would not want that for my son at all. Like, the headache, the extra stress, the lying, all of that comes with like that type of, it's not something that I will want my son or my daughter to pick up. It's in the moment when you're doing it, you're living like that, you don't think about it, it's just fun. But I really, really, really would not want that habit or that type of lifestyle to be something that my kids pick up. Like, that's why I'm very cognizant. I don't have like nobody around my kids, so that lifestyle is not a part of me now. I wouldn't even want anyone to be around my children at this point. So just having women in and out, you're bound to have somebody just pop up or just run into them some way, somehow. Unless you're talented and you're doing it for a long time, I don't know. I'm not even trying to figure that out. Like, no, but I wouldn't want that for my kids because there's so much other things that you should spend your time and energy on. So that is one trait or habit of mine I would not want them to pick up. That a past trait. Let's make this clear. This is a past trait of mine from a long, long time ago. A very, 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 very long time ago. Other question I got is, one thing you miss about your pre-dad life, and it's, I don't want to say hoeing, but like, I don't miss that. I don't miss that. What is one thing that I miss about my pre-dad life? Is not having to be on all the time. I feel like I have to always, now, especially now, and I'm not going to act like I always like this, like I always considered that, but now I feel like I always am on because I always feel like they're always looking at me, even when they're not around. I'm always got to make sure I'm a role model. I can't just, I don't have, there's no more going out and getting DUI. Like those days, I don't necessarily miss that. I don't miss that. I don't miss that. That's not fun. I don't miss getting locked. That's not fun. But like just the sense of the no responsibility, just like, fuck it. I get drunk. I come in at 4 o'clock. I wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon if I want to. Like, yeah, like that part, I kind of miss that, but at the same time, I don't want to go back to it. I miss the thought of it more than the actual actions of it, because I really wouldn't want to go out and do all of that stuff again. Like, I just wouldn't. The idea of it sounds great. The idea of it sounds amazing. But like, to be honest, I don't think I miss anything really from my pre-dad life, because like that, since I've become a dad, that is my life, and like life's gotten better. So I don't think there's much that I would miss. How has becoming a father changed you as a person? So, well, yeah, like I said, the responsibility piece, think the passion piece, patience. Jesus, the patience. You can't have kids without patience. Like I can say back to my daughter, kids made me, my daughter made me understand the uh the importance of representation for Black women. Like I never, I heard about it. Like it's like, okay, the plight of a Black woman. Whoa, okay, I hear it, I hear it. But my mom Black, my aunt's Black. They strong Black women. They don't complain about being a Black woman. They just go about it. But then when I see my daughter and she sees things, like we were watching the Olympics, and she saw just before Simone Biles, I think it was like Gabby Douglas or somebody like that. She was in the Olympics, and she started doing flips after she saw her doing flips. And then, it's like, oh, she started see, she wasn't doing none of that when she seen like the other, like, just to be honest, the other white girls and stuff on there. She just looked at the TV. But when that little Black girl started tumbling around and flipping on the floor, she got her little Black self up and started tumbling around and flipping on the floor. Then it made me think like, oh, that's what it is. Like, you see it, and then you feel like you can become, and you wanna do and see what become what you see. And so like I never understood that as much. And even with my son too, like the whole representation thing, because I remember just sitting down one day playing we were playing like a board game, Sorry, at the house with like my mother and my daughter. And I was doing something, I started rolling up my sleeves, and I looked to my side, my son started rolling up his sleeves. And I'm like, oh, look at you trying to be like your daddy, huh? And of course, once I said it, he rolls them down and tried to act like he's not doing it. But then I realized in that moment, like, he really is. He tries to do and mimic like the stuff I do. And so like, yeah, it really made me focus on trying to be a better person at all times for them and for myself. Like, because best version of me is the best version for them. So that's what really changes. I really try to become a better version of myself to make sure I'm a better version for them. Let's see. Since you didn't have a father, did you create one in your mind? And so that question is yeah. I created my father in my mind, and as I've gotten older, I realized that while that's a good coping mechanism, I think me doing that, I'm just rambling about it now, but me doing that, I think it was unfair to my mother, because I created a complete superhero in my mind. Like, whenever my mother was mad at me, when my mother was anything, it's like, man, if my dad was here, none of this shit would be happening. I'll be living with my dad. My dad this, my dad that. My dad was perfect. You can't tell me nothing about him. Now, keep in mind, my dad died. I'm 4 years old. I mean, so what do I really like? I got no real recollection, but I just make up in my mind. And so it was kind of unfair to my mother because she was trying to match and meet a standard of a superhero that never really existed. So in my mind, like my dad was everything. My dad was like my protector. So whenever there was something going on, I was like, man, my dad was here. I could talk to him about this, this, and this. Like, whenever it was money, anything, if I lived with my dad, I know my dad would have had a bunch of money. My dad would have did this. My dad would have did that. Where, I mean, reality, based upon the lifestyle my dad was living, I mean, if he didn't go out the way he did, he probably would have been locked up. So, like, that lifestyle that we had was not going to be sustainable anyway. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely, in my mind, all the time, like, created this complete superhero of a father. And it's strange because as I've gotten older, my views of him were never skewed by outside presence, but it's just more that I know and learn about just life. And as a person, like my dad would not have been a perfect person because nobody's a perfect person. Like nobody at all. Yeah, I definitely created a perfect father in my mind. In my mind, all of that stuff is what I try to be, and so maybe that's why sometimes I get hard on myself when I have my own flaws as a father, because, I feel like a father should be perfect. But that's because I don't know what the hell I'm really talking about because I ain't seen one, so I'm hard on myself for no reason when, that's just, I create a superhero that nobody can match. And, nobody can ever come close to my father. They just can't. What do you feel is the biggest misconception about being a baby father? Man, biggest misconception about being a baby father is we out living the life. Like, mom got the baby, dad just out. Like, I mean, mom, I got the kids. Meanwhile, dad, you just out. I mean, you just out. Dad ain't got the kids. He just, he has his own time. He might get it every other weekend and, something like that. But, that's it. You're like, but I don't think and I've seen Little Rail talk about this on the Breakfast Club. And it's so true that I don't even know if it's stress or especially in the beginning, if it's stress or depression or what you feel, that separation from being away from your kids really, really can fuck with you. Like, it really can. And it's not like those days when you don't have your children, it's just party time. No, it's a lot of time walking past a room that's empty that, damn, I wish my kids was in there. It's being in a house where you can hear your own echoes of your voice because you provided a space for a family, but it's just the daddy, right? It's those moments, it's those times that aren't really discussed, but it's like, he ain't got the kids. Like, nah, but I want the kids. I miss the kids. I love my kids. Like, I love my kids just as much as you love our kids. I want to be in my kids' life just as much as you want to be in our kids' life. Like none of that stuff, all those emotions that you feel are exactly the same. Like the importance of a mother is just as important of a father. So those feelings that you may think you will feel if you didn't have your child, feel the same thing. Feel the exact same thing. At least the fathers that I know. I'm not speaking for, niggas that don't care about seeing their kids and all of that. Like, I don't believe that's the majority. I don't know them. I don't know those dads. So I can't speak to that. I can only speak to what I know and how I feel the dads that I know and I hang around. What is one thing that's harder than you thought it would be with an infant or a toddler, I would say. And it's not it's funny, but when you in it, it's not funny at times, and it could really, really, really get to you. Fucking it's changing diapers. It is absolutely changing diapers. I mean, it's the whole diaper experience. It's the whole like, oh my gosh, I gotta change this diaper. It's shit everywhere. And I gotta change this diaper. And now I'm going to change the diaper. I gotta get rid of the shitty diaper. I go to move it. You're right there, and all of a sudden, baby takes off. No diaper, no nothing. All I want to run around, chase a baby. Baby goes in the corner, wants to shit again, wants to take a piss. Whatever it is, a baby without a diaper for more than like 3 seconds is dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. And what else I didn't know, like, as a kid, maybe seeing like cartoons or something where say you change the baby's diaper and like it squirts up and pees in your face and stuff like that, right? I thought that shit was like a joke until my son really peed in my face and I was ready to beat his ass. I can't lie. He was probably about 4 months. And I'm like, yo, like this right here, like I don't know if he was like, I've never experienced. The only diapers I've changed before that was my daughter's. So I never had nothing like that happen to me. And I don't know, only time I seen somebody or something like that was like a dog with dominance. And I'm like trying to prove his point, trying to piss on me or something. Like I had no clue. So that right there was a whole experience. That might be like the funny sides of it, but like the whole diaper experience, the serious thing is like those times where it's the baby's crying because they're wet and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you just changed them an hour and a half ago and then they're crying again. And it's like, you're only 10 pounds. This little bit of pee is not going to hurt you that bad, but I got to do it. Or those times where you're trying to rush out the house and like did everything, gave the baby a bath and everything's done. And all of a sudden it's a blowout. And while that's funny, it's not when you got somewhere to go and you got your bags packed and you're already ready and you're stressed out. Like, I remember times when like I can't lie, I damn near was ready to cry because like I am totally packed. I am stressed. I am rushing out the door. I'm like, all right, we're ready. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. We're going to be on time. I'm going to have to rush. We're going to be on time. And go to buckle in the car seat, put the baby down, and you just hear that soft, squishy sound. You just know, you just like, I can't let this baby take a 45-minute ride and shit. Like I just can't do it. So now I can't, this thing I have to be at, I have to be there. I want to be there. Baby don't care. Baby doesn't care. And in that moment, you feel like nobody cares. Like, that's the real part about it. That's where the real diaper thing come in. When it's like, damn, I did everything. We are ready. And this happens. And there's nothing you can do. It's a humbling ass experience. It lets you know, like, as much as you want to be in control, that little 8, 10, 20 pound, even 30-pound thing controls it all. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't. You can cry about it, but you still got to wipe off some shit. I mean, like, it's a shitty situation, period. I mean, it just is what it is. It just is what it is with that. I mean, yeah, that's real. Like, that whole diaper situation, like, yeah, it sounds funny, but it's those late nights is real. Especially, oh my gosh. And I'm gonna tell you one other thing. When it's late night, and I remember late night and having to change a diaper and tired, put the sleeper back on the baby, put your med. Gotta make sure. Take a diaper off, put a diaper back on, put that baby right back to sleep. That sleeper back on. And no diaper. And that sleeper had to go in the trash. So did them sheets. And I had to wash that baby. And I thought that baby was playing in mud. You just think the baby was playing in mud. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's all on the inside of the thing. And then it comes out the little, you got the little sleeves. How the baby got the little sleeves and you got the little, so you can tell her it's talking about the sleeves, playing in it. It's just absolutely, yeah. Just pay attention to what you're doing when you're doing the diapers. But this is fun. I appreciate it. This is fun. Send me some more questions. I'm going to get to this again. I might have a guest come on here and do some mailbag questions with me, but this was fun. And we'll do it again. See y'all next week. Episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.